those.
It's just those?
They're moving, see?
No. Oh, the picture.
Okay.
At this point, there is no authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against misshapen monsters.
Something big is happening here. You could be involved in this. Patricia Tallman, Laurie Cardell, William Butler, Russ Striner, music from Zombie, and the Candy Man himself, Tony Todd. Send us you doing zombie stuff, right? It could be you just walking down the street, walking in the cemetery. We're going to put you, the viewing audience, making your own homemade zombie stuff. We're going to work it into the live read with the stars from the films. And don't forget, this all is a benefit for Biden-Harris and the PA Democrats. Get out there, tell your friends, it's Halloween season, man. You're probably not going to go trick-or-treating. You can't knock on doors, right? What you can do, you can dress your kids up, make them zombies. Pete did it. Be a ghoul for good. We will see you there on Friday. Guess what, everybody? Welcome. My mic was muted.
102 shows, baby. 102 shows.
You must have muted me because I talk too much. But
oh, sure.
Why would I have muted myself? Because I did. Okay, I did. I totally muted myself. I remember what it was. So anyway, welcome to the show. This is Alone Together Pittsburgh. I am your host, Patrick Jordan, who apparently on my 102nd show forgot to unmute myself when the show started. Rookie mistake. It's not looking good for this centennial. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. We started doing this show, if it's one of your first times watching it, we started the show right when the shelter-in-place order came down. So I believe we're on week 32 of this show here right now, and we have kept it going. We started the show when we were in like the red straight lockdown phase, and we've moved through phases. I know we're technically green, but it's more of like a different shade of green, like like a baby poop green is what we are now, because it's not yellow and we're not totally open. So we're somewhere in between there. The color chart threw us off. But Dave was on his toes because we haven't brought up that color chart thing in like 20 episodes. And that's why he's the best in the business. But anyway, we've got a fantastic show for you lined up tonight. Natalie Bencivenga is going to be back here with 5 Minutes With. Erin Hart is going to be here talking Farm2Table. We've got Liz Berlin is going to be here, and Adam Valen are going to be here talking about basically the plight of promotions and music venues in this time period. But before we do that, we've got a couple of little pieces of housekeeping to talk about here on the show. One of them, you'll see something ticking below me. That is our Venmo. We would greatly appreciate it if you could kick in a couple of bucks. It is at TogetherPGH. So if you have the means to kick in a couple of bucks to the show, it could be $1, $3, $5. Hey, if you want to give $100, that's great. We will definitely give you a shout out on the show if you give $100 or more. Heck, if you give over $100, we'll bring you on the show. But not that it's for sale, but it is a party. We're trying to have a good time with this thing here right now. So there's that there, right there. We've got the chat thing going here right now. We try to talk about anybody who is talking. Like for right now, Amanda Blair Kieran's talking about. She says, "My beard is looking ripe." Miss Mansueto says, "I'm entitled to screwing up," and I appreciate that. And thank you, Mrs. Mansueto. So anyway. There's a couple other things here to talk about before we get to that. One thing in particular, we have a little thing we do here on the show called the Engine House 25 Jagoff poll. Now, let me tell you this right now. It is not a derogatory thing. We started this thing in March. We had no clue we'd still be doing this thing to the end of it, but we are now nearing the end of the Jagoff poll. Okay, the bracket is full. It is loaded. Okay, so the Jagoff is a term of endearment. We love every contestant that is involved, be it a word, be it a phrase, be it a location, be it directions, okay, be it a person. All right, so overnight was a big one, okay? Dave, tell him what it was and tell him what happened.
Oh, wait, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Push the wrong button. 102. Here we go. Overnight, we had a fantastic showdown between two Pittsburgh Halloween institutions. That's right, the Pittsburgh SCAREHOUSE versus the Bloomfield Halloween Parade. We're talking about the scariest SCAREHOUSE in all of America. They come from far and wide to come to the SCAREHOUSE, get scared by clowns, go in the basement, get licked up by some jag. Or the Bloomfield Halloween Parade. It is magic on ice. And by ice, I mean Liberty Avenue. Just ask Tom Savini. How do we fare? How would you vote, Patrick? You got to tell me.
Man, it is so hard to choose. I mean, I actually lived in Bloomfield for several years across the street from Tom Savini. And that parade has a special place in my heart and history to it. I'm going to have to lean to the parade. But SCAREHOUSE is dope. Oh, the parade ran away with
Patrick,
it.
the parade. It is the Bloomfield Parade wins with, I don't know if that says 83. My eyes are no good anymore staring at the screens for 6 months. You kidding me? What does that say? 89? 89%. SCAREHOUSE. Whew. Tough one for SCAREHOUSE, but you know what? I think those guys are resilient. They'll be back, badder, and scarier than ever. That's your Jag for the overnight. Nicely done, Pittsburgh. You guys are cool.
And you can check out SCAREHOUSE online. Give them the Google. It's a cool organization, cool group of people. Okay, so moving on with that. But before I tell you what our in-show is, which you probably already know, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsor of the poll, Engine House 25 Winery. If you go to eh25.com, you will find out the selection of all the wines that they have. They have about 8 or 9 different reds, some that are pure, some that are blends. You got to get in there. They get the grapes from everywhere from Napa to Chile and everywhere in between. It's the season right now, so get on it, eh25.com. And if you tell them you found out about them on Alone Together Pittsburgh, you'll receive $5 off per bottle. That's not per case, that's per bottle. They've got a lot of reds. They've got a Chardonnay, as you can see in the picture there. They've also got a Sauvignon Blanc that's killer. Get in there, make it happen. The Zin right there, you can't go wrong. They do all the photography in-house. They're also doing some free delivery. If you're in the 412 area code during the pandemic, they also have curbside. So check them out, eh25.com. Tell them we sent you. You'll get a couple bucks off. Okay, so that said, we've got a little thing called the in-show jag-off poll. We call it the Lil Jag-off poll, okay? And that is where only you, the live viewing audience, get to vote on this. Not the people who are listening to the audio-only podcast version of the show tomorrow, not the people who are watching the show later, people on the West Coast, whatever. Get in there and start voting now. Dave, tell them what it is. It's timely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got more spooky stuff since it's spooky Halloween time. How about a costume off Spencer Gifts versus Costume World from the Strip District. That's a tough one. You go with your old pals? Well, I'll tell you what, you can't go to Costume World anymore. But back in the day, that's when Pittsburgh was in its Halloween prime, Costume World. You couldn't get Clown White anywhere else. Let me tell you something. If you want to get Clown White, there was only one place in town to get Clown White. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I needed Clown White for my goddamn Halloween costume, whether I was a mime or Uncle Fester. Clown White every goddamn time. Doesn't matter where you go, you can't find Clown White anywhere. Costume World had Clown White. Could you find it at Spencer's? No, you could not. But you can find a dildo there. Good luck with this one.
Gosh, that's something. All right, Dave, you're back, baby. I tell you what, that was a good intro. I don't know how anybody's going to vote.
That one went too far. I apologize to my mom.
I know, your mom's here. Your mom's watching, and you know what, Miss Mansueto, I'm sorry for you. You know what, I'm not sorry. You know what? He talks like that sometimes, and you know it, and I know it, and the American people know it. Okay, so that said, get to voting there right now. Only you can do it. Get it rolling. We would, appreciate some votes. Get used to voting because the voting thing's coming right now. Before we get to our first guest, I talk about the COVID cases and transmissions in Allegheny County just about every night. Today was 119, which means I think we've had 8 straight days of over 100. The highest being 149, the lowest being 103. So we're trending in the wrong direction. I think everywhere is kind of coming up. The state of Pennsylvania, I think, spiked from in the ones to like the 1.3% or 3.3% or 4.3% transmission rate. And at 5, I think they're supposed to lock everything down again. So if we could just all lock it down, put on your masks, keep the social distancing. We know it's the political season and people are making hay out of the mask wearing thing. Just be smart, put the mask on. You're protecting everyone else. It's not just for you. So please just put on a mask. I mean, honestly, Bruce Springsteen even thinks you should.
Put on a fucking mask.
That's actually the boss's voice. So can't go against Springsteen. I mean, I know you don't care what I say, but the boss is, it's where I draw the line. But anyway, without further ado, like I said, we've got a great show coming up, but I want to get to our first guest early because they've got a lot to say. We've got Liz Berlin and Adam Valen. They're coming here talking about the National Independent Venue Association and basically the plight of small venues. Liz is going to speak to us a little bit from the Mr. Smalls thing, and Adam can cover a lot more than that. So let's bring them out here.
Hey.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
A lot.
I know. But before we get into this, I mean, where do you...
at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing that's been a constant with everybody that's come on this show. It's basically been everyone's out of work and everyone is working their asses off. Like it is just it's a nonstop grind and no one has their job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go ahead.
At the same time too, it's like you never know what day of the week it is either. It's like this very weird, like up and down. I don't know. It's very odd.
Well, it's insane. But before we get into things, where do you guys fall on Costume World versus Spencer Gifts?
Costume World.
I think I gotta go Costume World too.
Yeah, 100% Costume World.
I think Dave sold everybody. I mean, with Clown White. Okay.
That's true.
Costume World. I mean, it's not there anymore. Did Costume World move to another location, or did it just folded?
They shut down. Yeah, it's sad.
I used to go to shows at Club Zoo all the time, and
right
I was like, when I was like skipping school and waiting in line at like 2 p.m, like all the families were still going to check out, like they were coming out in their like Yoda costumes.
I used to. I mean, that was the only place that you could rent costumes by like the half hour in cash if you found the right person. Because we would do like photo shoots for the theater and stuff, and we were like, oh man, we don't have anything. We need somebody for like a 1910 gangster thing. Oh, we just like went over there, and it was just like, how long are you gonna be? I'm gonna be right next door. Okay, all right, give me $20. So basically, it'd be like $20. I'd run over there and run it back a half hour later, like that kind of stuff. It was like a
Spencer's definitely had the more interesting inventory, but
well, yeah,
I had the place in my heart.
Dave touched on that too, and Spencer's is still open. But I mean, what a Spotlight costume was on the South Side too. I don't know if they went somewhere else. So I think all the independent costume places have kind of vanished. But anyway, the strip's changing again. But that's a whole other episode on the show here. Let's talk about like what you guys have been kind of working on here and dealing with here.
Well, we've been, Adam and I, since the beginning of this pandemic, we've been meeting with fellow venue owners and promoters here in Pittsburgh, and we were both kind of on the ground floor of forming the National Independent Venue Association. And Adam's gone on to become, along with Brian Dresky, to become the precinct captain. Which, go Adam! He's like running shit. But
Somebody's
we've been, Well, we've been working really hard, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on and what the outlook is, and trying to generate some awareness for our situation and try and generate some support for, hopefully some kind of aid at some point, because it's just getting crazy.
Now, what kind of support are you? What kind of support are you looking for?
Well, let's start with awareness. I mean, first of all, I think the biggest thing really was to get people like the general public for one, but also like government representatives to realize that concert venues, we can't just open up when they say, okay, it's time to open up. Like for us, we're dependent on national touring artists that book their tours like 6 months out before they actually happen. So we have to wait for them to feel comfortable touring. We have to wait for not just our city to open up, but for the entire country to open up so that they can book a tour. And so who knows when that's going to happen. Whenever that date is, say if it's in a year, we're booking dates that are 6 months later from that. So we're like, and we're the size of our venues, it's like, we're not going to be able to survive on just like little business here and there. Like we are structured on those national concerts. We're 850 capacity venue at Mr. Smalls. And that's what our business model is used to surviving on. So that's just like a whole different level, I think, of necessity to keep businesses like us going.
And everybody was running on a razor thin margin anyway before this. It's not like there was just gobs and gobs of like Scrooge McDuck money coming in on this stuff. And so now you take that away and then slow it down again. I don't even know, and we don't even know what it's going to look like when this thing opens. And if anything, it's changes like every hour on the day here, what it's going to be and when it's going to be. So it's frustrating, and I feel like I feel you guys' pain with this, because I feel like they're not really the big ups and the powers that be aren't really looking at venues of a smaller size, less than 1,000, as a necessity here. I have a tiny venue; it's like 75 seats, and people were like, "Oh yeah, well you're open." Well, there was 5,000 people at the Steeler game last Sunday, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a 70,000 seat thing, and they've got 5,000 seats. I can't get 25."
And I'll add to that too. I mean, the first game that they even had, and I think the issue that we have is we want to be able to do this. If we're going to reopen, we want to be able to reopen safely. They tried to do the event, the first Steelers game, and they didn't even sell out. They are still struggling to put fans in seats because, frankly, people just aren't comfortable going to events at this point. It's just not the right place or time. And with winter coming up and cases starting to spike, I just think that it's going to push people further back inside and, continue to push the fact that we need aid and we need to raise the red flag and raise the awareness for this industry.
I mean, I agree. I mean, are there lobbyists that are needed? I mean, what are some outcomes here that we're looking for?
So I'll speak on that, like on behalf of the National Independent Venue Association. This truly has been, it kind of has been a lot of an uphill battle for us. The silver lining in this has been, prior to the pandemic, independent venues and promoters, festivals, they never really had a collective voice. We never really had to really fight for ourselves. We've always had the bootstrap mentality that makes us so special and independent, that we've been able to, be able to pick up on our own and be able to produce events on our own. And that's kind of what made us uniquely individual. But, come the pandemic, it kind of forced us all to understand that, look, for-profit, non-profit, government-owned, all these independently owned venues all share the same issue, in the fact that we bring people together. We, have essentially nothing at this point. There's no events for the foreseeable future until there's a vaccine. And it kind of forced everybody to the table to understand, look, we need to do something to get everybody together in a room. And the National Independent Venue Association kind of formed out of that. And we're now 7 months later, and there's 3,000 venues and promoters and festivals in every state across the country that are represented under the National Independent Venue Association. And they were able to get some core capital funding through sponsors that are independently owned companies, like ticketing agencies like C Tickets and Light, and they were able to raise some funding to help get one of DC's top lobbyists, Aiken Gump, to help really lead the charge in Capitol Hill and trying to get our message across that we truly are one of the hardest hit industries. And what kind of started as a movement, #SaveOurStages, really started evolving into a movement, and that movement, to this point has transitioned into legislation. And this is all within the last 7 months. This is an industry that was never recognized, on a large scale. I mean, everybody that attends events on a yearly basis knows who we are, but our legislators, our general legislature, the Senate and Congress, they don't know, really the inner workings of our industry. So
and the ripple effect and how much of the economy, how far it goes. Like you just said, sponsors, ticketing agencies, all these different workers are involved in not just this one show. It's not just that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a huge, oh, go ahead.
Sound people, bartenders, light people, it's like a lot of the local employment, like we employ a lot of people. Our industry employs so many people on so many levels. And not only to mention that, just bringing cultural events into the neighborhoods, for Millvale, since we've been in Millvale the last 15 years, we bring 80,000 people a year to Millvale, which literally 15 years ago, nobody knew where Millvale was. I had to educate people. It's only 5 minutes from downtown. And now we're bringing 80,000 people a year to Millvale. And those 80,000 people are going to Subway, and they're going to Sidelines, and they're going to the Double L Bar, and they're getting their haircut, and they're going to Jean-Marc's bakery. And, so it's spreading around. It's like part of the infrastructure.
They're getting gas. They're doing everything.
They're getting gas.
Yeah. Like it's
exactly. And we're paying taxes on all of their money that they spend on their food and their alcohol. And, so we're a really big part of the growth, I think the economic and cultural growth of our neighborhood.
I mean, it's a real ecosystem.
So it is.
It's a very interesting, synergistic approach between nightlife in general. Yeah. Like Liz mentioned, in a sense, when our buildings are busy, she mentioned, the bars and restaurants are full. We're putting heads in beds at the hotel. We're contributing economically through Uber and Lyft and parking, and again, a gigantic tax base that comes through our doors. So not only culturally is this important, but economically, the ripple effect if these venues start to go away, which is, again, we're just in such a unique position where we're going on 7 months now, almost 8, with very little to no revenue, and it's just no business can sustain that. No.
But and you mentioned it earlier about this pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just get it done by yourself thing. There's a time and a place for that, and basically all the arts have had to do that in every aspect forever. But right now it's something different. There's a U word that I'm not going to say.
You can say it. I don't know.
No, I'm just joking around. We were joking earlier about the word unprecedented being used 65,000 times a day, and I was just gonna try to make a joke about it.
It's the most applicable word for our time. It's nobody could have imagined anything like this.
We're truly in the wild, wild west. I mean, it's positioned people in very unique positions to do things that they've never had to do before. And that's why it's really weird from my position. Sorry, because I'm by day a marketing manager, but the last 7 months has been, advocating and lobbying for independent venues, artists, promoters, festivals, all that rely on, the core of the music venue being the center of a lot of what we do. If you look at it, like the statistic is that, for touring artists, 75% of their annual income is from touring, and not all of that, very rarely do you see, somebody go straight from the studio to an arena. They all have to come through our doors at one point or another. So that, on the developmental side, like if our stages go away, artists are already making very slim revenue streams from streaming and from album sales. Like they rely on touring for this to happen. So at least from like a touring perspective, like it's critically important to preserve these spaces.
All right. So what can people do that are watching right now that are just realizing this stuff for the first time?
So there's two immediate things. Well, there's a handful, but like the three most critical now. Reach out to your venue, see how you can help. Whether it's buying a gift card, whether it's buying merch, anything that you can do to help get money in venue pockets. Because realistically, we have hundreds of events that are being moved into next year, and we want to be able to protect our patrons through ticket refunds and making sure that during these times we're able to protect them there. But any chance of giving back to the venue by, if they have, Mr. Smalls has their cafe open, they have amazing food and amazing events happening. Go visit those places, buy their food, buy merch. If you're looking for something simple to do, go to www.saveourstages.com, write a letter to your congressman or your senator, tell them that you support independent venues. And thirdly, this trickle-down effect and the movement that this has created has not only really inspired things on a national level, but here in Pennsylvania, we've been incredibly thrilled that state legislature is even taking notice of this. And one of our state representatives in downtown Pittsburgh, Representative Jake Wheatley, just introduced the Save Our Stages Act, which is the mirror of the federal bill, which is a grant program that they're trying to pass with the House of Representatives to issue a $200 million grant program for independent venues, promoters, festivals. And, it's really incredible to see support from the state legislature. So please reach out to your state representatives and senators as well and tell them how much you support independent venues.
Yeah.
How much you.
And Liz, Adam talked about it briefly, but what's going on at Mr. Smalls? I mean, what are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing what little we can. We were shut down just like everyone else for a good 7 months. About 2 months ago, we opened up Mr. Smalls Cafe, which is just our little coffee shop. It's in the basement. We're open every day from noon to 6 p.m., Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Stop by, have some coffee. For the last few weeks, we've been doing the street series, which the borough of Millvale was kind enough to let us close down Butler Street, which is that little cobblestone hill on the side of Mr. Smalls. And we turned our loading dock into a stage. So we've been having music on the loading dock outside and setting up tables on the hill. So that's been, the past few weeks. We're going to be doing it again this weekend and hopefully again next weekend as well. So come out Friday, Saturday and check that out. As far as the outlook for the theater, we're debating trying to do some stuff indoors. It's of course not going to be nearly to the scale that we need it to be to function, profitably. We're gonna have to do social distancing and probably we'll be setting up tables and operating more as a restaurant with music, sort of like a dinner theater type of paradigm. So look for that coming in the future. And that's the little bit that we can do. I will say that, we are operating at a loss. All of these things that we're doing are at a financial loss coming directly from my bank account. And this is something that we're doing just to show leadership in this time, just to show, we're astronauts. My husband likes to say we're astronauts, out in space, just like experimenting for the first time, doing the best that we can. And, just trying to create opportunities for our staff to get paid and opportunities for musicians to perform, and opportunities for people to, have a little bit of, soul healing. Just, music is therapy. Music is mental health. And so we're just trying to see how we can provide that for our community as safely as possible. And
Well, I think,
Yeah.
no, go ahead, Adam.
The takeaway is that the arts and music heal, and that's something that we critically need like at this time. And I think that, at least from my perspective, before I ever started working with the promoter, before I ever started like getting into the industry, I was a concert goer at first. My first show ever was at Mr. Small, so like even having this conversation is very cathartic. And
Okay, what was your first show?
it was, oh God, what was it? It was I was big in like the Warped Tour bands in high school, so it was We the Kings and The Academy was like the first show I ever went to. I think I like didn't tell my parents I was going. I think my mom's watching, so I'm sorry. And I snuck off with my friends. It was amazing. Like it was really, like that was the catalyst that was like, okay, I need to get into whatever is happening here, whatever makes this happen. Like I want in on that. So yeah, just like that, the fact that nothing like the live experience, being in the venue, seeing that wow factor moment of a band really like sweeping you off your feet, or it doesn't have to be music. It can be a performance, a play, a comedy show, whatever it is that really gets you off of your feet and gets you, out of your zone.
Live performance, man. I mean, I said it all the time. This is probably the 15,000th time I've said it on this show. There's nothing like it. And then I always bring up the fact that, you're breathing the same air as the performers. You're in that space. Now it's a bad thing to breathe the same air as everybody. But it's rough. I mean, I really want to thank you guys for the work that you're doing. I mean, just the advocacy and just raising the awareness to it. Because I'm living it, but you guys, are out there like letting people know about it. Because you hear politicians being like, well, no one died from not going to see a play for a while, like that kind of thing. And you're not realizing that there is an actual $1 billion plus industry happening in this that goes to different places. So thank you guys both so much for what you guys are doing. And please come back anytime you want. If there's anything that you need a call to action, or just let us know what you're doing. We'd love to have you guys back. And maybe come back and play some music. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll come play music.
I'm an arm length away from my guitar, so
I see Liz's too. I'm like so next time we'll trade off some songs. We'll make it a little more entertaining. We'll talk about this. In the meantime, we've got all your guys' links and websites in the chat along with this here. And seriously, thank you guys for what you're doing. And anything we can do to help, let us know. And don't stop.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. That's amazing what those guys are doing. It makes me feel like I should be doing more. But real quick, shout out to JJ Jackson also for making a funny play on words with unprecedented. Also, Paula, you're right. She did say great. And Danielle, yes, great job, guys. And Jason Varnish, very perfect. Adam did do a hell of a job and well-spoken and doing good things for the industry. So thank you all for watching. Before we bring out our next guest, I want to tell you guys a little bit about something that's coming up on Friday. You may have seen it at the beginning. We are doing a Night of the Living Dead Undead Read tribute reunion, whatever you want to call it. So get ready for it. It's going to be on Friday. We've got stars from the original movie, from the original Night of the Living Dead. We've also got a bunch of stars from the Night of the Living Dead 1990 Tom Savini version as well. We're going to have the maestro himself, Tom Savini, will be here as well. We got Tony Todd, Russ Striner. We've got so many people. Patricia Tallman. It's action packed. It's jam packed. You do not want to miss it. Also, in the meantime, if you want to send us some zombie videos or some zombie footage of you or anybody else, you can make it. We will try to work it into the readings that we're going to be doing from the show. There's going to be panel discussions and that, but we need your help. Do you know somebody that's got zombie stuff? It's this Friday. Use the hashtag GHOULS4GOOD. Send us an email. Let us know what's going on. It's going to be a great time, and it is all to benefit PA Democrats and the Biden-Harris campaign. So check it out. And if you want any more information, you can go to GHOULS4GOOD.com. So that's pretty great. But what's even better than that is we get to talk a little bit about some Farm to Table with Erin Hart. Buy fresh, buy local, farm2tablepa.com. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it local with our regular Wednesday segment. Erin Hart, how are you?
Hey, Patrick, how are you?
I'm all right. Thanks for being with us tonight. How's everything going?
It's great. I wish I could have heard some guitar playing. I was going to type in the chat, like, just have them play. I'll jump off.
Okay.
It's my heart goes out to these small businesses. I mean, it's like a complete nightmare thinking about like holding this all together. Your whole business is based on gathering people together. So,
Right.
it illustrates how important the choices that we make are, buying a penny that we spend, if we could keep it in the local economy. It goes so far. So it was good to hear that they have the cafe going. I'm going to share that.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, everybody's getting creative. So, so speaking of which, where your money's going, let's talk about some local farms. Let's talk about some farm to table. Tis the season.
Yeah, harvest season. It's Thanksgiving, Halloween. I shared a link. So on our blog, we published a list of a bunch of local farms where you can click through to the various farms to find out like what are they doing for COVID, what are their hours, etc. Apple picking, pumpkin picking. I took my kids out on Sunday night. We went to Blackberry Meadows in Natrona Heights, where it was actually like a pizza event with Reza Truza from Millvale.
Okay.
They're in the Moose Lodge. So at Blackberry Meadows Farm, they have a pizza oven, and it was the first time my kids have been out to dinner since March, because I've gone out a couple times and eaten outside, but they haven't gone out at all. So it was really cool. So it was, it's just nice in the list, to check out, like, I know like a lot of people don't know, they've never been to a farm. So just so that you're aware of like what's happening and everything that's available, just to keep all of that money in our local economy. So if everybody bought local decorations this year, then we'd keep $7 million in our local economy, just from holiday decorations.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
So it makes such a huge difference. I'm like brainstorming about Mr. Smalls.
Okay, that's great. I mean, while you're brainstorming, I want to remind everybody that they're open Monday to Friday from noon to 6 and Sunday from 10 to 4. I mean, that would be it. We could talk about that at the cafe right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. I mean, I'm in the same boat, but
we all have like our entertainment dollars. So it's like you just think about like all the money that you spend. So for me, like I run Farm to Table, but I'm also an insurance broker. So my job did not get affected. And if anything, I got more work during this time because we got a contract with USDA. So, it's like, so what am I doing during this time to make a difference? You have to be intentional about the money that you are spending. So to keep as much of that local, it's so important. And if you think about like, there's the unemployment rate in Allegheny County right now is 10.5%, which is a huge number. And you look at our hospitality industry, is a big part of our economy here in Allegheny County. And, in order for us to keep, it's like Mr. Smalls or all of these restaurants that we love.
I mean, we've lost a few.
Right. I mean, the only way to do that is to jump in, and for people like me and, people that are out there working and haven't been affected, is to take all of the money that you were spending on, national concerns or whatever. Like I used to, people like spend money doing this or that. Like maybe you went on cruises, like go spend it, go give it to Mr. Smalls and see, like do something creative. Have an artist come to your house and play and pay them $2,500 to like play a concert that's socially distanced. Like that's the challenge that we need to have people.
Well, it's the one thing. It's the only thing we have control over is what we do with our money right now.
Right.
But the problem is, you said there's 10% unemployment rate now in Allegheny County, and there's people on the bubble of that are barely getting by.
Right.
So
exactly.
I mean, a way to keep things into our economy that would be it. So speaking of that, are farmers markets going to be running through the winter? I mean, when do the farmers markets end?
A lot of them are extending their season this year because they've been so popular and they're doing so well. So Bloomfield, once again, Bloomfield has always run year round, but they extended their weekly season, and they were doing once a month during the winter. A lot of I know a lot of the markets have extended for a couple more weeks, and I think a lot of them are playing it by ear based on COVID cases and obviously the weather. So, I mean, reaching out to these farms to be able to secure food too, I mean, is a great way to contribute to the local economy and to your own health, because it's pretty healthy food that you're getting.
Right on. I mean, I'm down. I told you last time you were here, I told you that I went to Sorgel's.
Yes.
And all those pies are gone.
Apples.
The apples are gone. Okay. My daughter burns through apples like it's free. I mean, she literally eats it down to the other day she came back and just handed me the stem. And I was like, where's the rest of that apple? I think she ate the core. She ate the core, and she might have spit the seeds out. I'll find them there'll be a tree growing in my living room at some point. It'll
out of
the dust bunny in the corner. But I mean, she goes through them like it's going to. And we ate all the pies that I bought too. So I might have to make another run to get those farm apples. A Halloween at the Lawrenceville Farmers Market. What's going on here?
Well, I did not share this link, but
okay,
it's great. Yeah, a lot of them are doing themed kinds of things.
Okay, all right.
Join us for a socially distanced costume contest. That's great. So yeah, I mean, the people that are running the farmers markets have been incredible. They are very creative. They reacted quickly. They're very safe. The markets are open air, so you're going to just be outside.
That's awesome. And we can find all this on the website, farm2tablepa.com. That's going to be great. Everything from events to where to get these things. Amazing.
Yeah.
So what? One more question for you. What is planned for this weekend for the Erin Hart family? What is there an outing? Is there something having to do with something?
Is there?
No is I don't know. That's not a loaded question. I'm just saying, are you guys going to a farm? Are you going to a farmer's market? Are you getting more pumpkins? Are you doing something? If so, what's going on? Are the kids trick or treating? What's going on?
The kids will be trick or treating. That's next weekend.
Okay. It's 31st.
For Halloween. This weekend there's a neighborhood party. So the kids play outside all the time. Our kids are going to school at home. So they've gotten extremely close with the neighbors. They've always been, there's 15 kids on our street that are my kids' ages. So it's really nice. So yeah, they'll just be out. They'll be in costumes between now and Halloween. Awesome. Just because, we're very fortunate with the weather. It's going to be 81 the next 2 days. I actually put plastic on my garden for the first time I'm 48. So I've had a garden since I was 21.
And this is the first time you put the plastic on, and now it's 80.
I had the plastic, and I was home right before the frost, so I was able to pull it together. And so we have tomatoes growing, tomatillos. We have a ton of peppers, so I'm going to grill some. I'm going to store all the peppers. So I made jelly yesterday. I've been drying
pepper jelly.
Grape jelly.
Oh, so grape jelly.
Some grapes up in
you got some time on your hands.
And I take pictures of it, and I'm
I tell you what, send them to us, and we will have something to talk about next week. A little added bonus. Come on now, Erin. Come on, we got to think outside the box.
I know.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for being here again this week.
You guys.
Are you going to be here next? Hey, are you going to check out the show on Friday with the Night of the Living Dead show?
Absolutely, yes.
It was just definitely be worth it. All right, cool. Well, thank you kindly, and we will see you next Wednesday. Everybody go to farm2tablepa.com and find out all that you need to find out.
Buy fresh, buy local.
Buy fresh and buy local, everybody. Keep it fresh, keep it local. All right, that's fantastic. So before we bring on our next guest. What do you got for me, Dave?
I didn't mean for that. I just found myself on the main screen. So.
Okay, well, you look good. So before we bring out Natalie, I feel like we should run a little, give a little taste, little teaser about Friday, get everybody in the Halloween spirit. What do you think? Not the jag off. What do you think we run a little teaser about Friday's event? What do you think?
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Did you smell what I stepped in? Save the date. Something big is happening here. Use the hashtag #GHOULS4GOOD. Friday, October 23rd, right? It is a tribute to the Night of the Living Dead. It is a live read. It's going to be scenes from the original movies and stars from the movies, right? There's going to be more announcements coming soon. I'm going to let you know a couple of people who are going to be involved in this thing. But before I do that, you could be involved in this. Send us you doing zombie stuff, right? It could be you just walking down the street, walking in the cemetery. You could use some Legos. You could draw, do a little stop motion thing. We're going to put you, the viewing audience, making your own homemade zombie stuff. We're going to work it into the live read with the stars from the film. So we've got actor, stunt woman, producer, Patricia Tallman. She was in the 90s version of The Night of the Living Dead, the Tom Savini version. We've got Russ Streiner, okay? Actor and chairman of the board of the Pittsburgh Film Office Board of Directors, who played Johnny in the original version. And we've got Lori Cardille herself, okay? Star of Day of the Dead. And she's going to contribute to the reading. She's going to talk, and she's obviously going to tell some stories about her legendary father, Chili Billy. It's all going to be there, okay? You want more? We have more stars confirmed. William Butler, self-professed horror nerd. We say the Titan of horror. Writer, director, effects coordinator, and actor. No one died more on screen than William Butler. He died for your scenes. He was in Friday the 13th, The New Blood, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead. He's going to be there to relive it. Oh, you want more? The duo with Pittsburgh DNA running through their veins, their undead veins. Zombie. I love Zombie. They're going to be providing brand new unreleased tracks for the Ghouls4Good tribute. Oh, you want one more? Horror legend and star of the 1990 Night of the Living Dead, directed by Savini. Okay, this is big. You don't need me to say it. Tony Todd is going to be on the reading here. If you don't know who Tony Todd, that's the Candyman. You look in the mirror, you say it 3 times. Tony friggin' Todd is going to be here. You will get to see these amazing artists perform the source material. You'll get to meet the artists. You can ask questions. Do not miss this event and help us spread the word. And we are doing all this to raise money for PA Democrats and the Biden-Harris campaign. Get out there, tell your friends, it's Halloween season, man. You're probably not going to go trick-or-treating. You can't knock on doors, right? What you can do, you can dress your kids up, make them zombies. Pete did it. Be a ghoul for good. We will see you there on Friday. And if you didn't think that was enough, we've got breaking news. We've got breaking news because that breaking news is we've signed somebody else on. We've confirmed another guest. It is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tom Savini. Tom Savini is going to be here on Friday in addition to all those stars. Randy Kovitz is going to be there too, but Tom Savini is going to be there. We've been trying to get Tom on the show for months, okay? The man is busy. All right, but Tom Savini is going to be here. He directed the 1990 version. You may have seen his incredible mural that went up that Jeremy Raymer did. So Tom Savini is going to be here. It's on Friday. It just got real, okay? It keeps getting realer and realer. So send your zombie stuff. Maybe Tom will check it out. Think about it. All right, so that's going to be on Friday. Hashtag Ghouls4Good. Get on it, folks. So now, without further ado, look, speak of the devil. Dave's the fastest in the business. Look at Jeremy's mural of Tom. Look at that. Amazing. All right, that's better than being in the Hall of Fame. But anyway, right now I want to get to our next guest. She's usually here on Fridays, but she's here tonight. Let's see who she's with. 5 minutes with Natalie Bencivenga.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencivenga, host of 5 Minutes With, and this week I am honored to have one of my friends, Heather Tomko, with us today. She is a disability advocate and an all-around awesome lady. And a fun fact about Heather, she actually was Ms. Wheelchair USA 2018, which was part of the reason I got to meet her, which was very cool for me. But hey, Heather, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming and doing this with me, you know, and I appreciate it so much. I have been wanting to chat with you about your perspective on everything that's been going on. But first, maybe share a little bit about your personal journey with our audience.
Sure. So my name is Heather. I have a disability called spinal muscular atrophy, or SMA. It is a neuromuscular disease. So my muscles are very weak. I've never been able to walk. I've used a wheelchair since I was, I think, about 2 years old. So there are many dents in the walls around the house, you know, to show my progression in my driving skills. That also means that I need help with lots of just normal everyday tasks. So getting in and out of bed, using the bathroom, taking a shower, getting dressed. These are all things that I can't do independently. So I rely on either my parents or care attendants to help me do those things. But I still, I went to college at CMU. I just graduated with my Master's of Public Health from Pitt, and I work at Pitt also. So I'm still out and about in the world.
And we're very lucky to have you out and about in the world because you're a total badass. So it just makes total sense. So, speaking from your perspective, having grown up in Pittsburgh, one of the first times you and I connected was during a ramp event in Oakland, and it was to sort of highlight all of the bars and restaurants that were accessible to people who used wheelchairs and other mobility devices. Can you share what it's like living with a disability in the city of Pittsburgh?
Sure. So I think Pittsburgh is a difficult city, and that it's built into, you know, many hills. So that geography makes it more difficult just to get around. You know, I'll still often call places and ask if they're accessible. And they'll say, sure, we are. There's just one step to get in. But I use a roughly 300-pound wheelchair. So that one step might as well be 10 steps because there's no way for me to get past that. And so I think that that's kind of emblematic of what I experience a lot, which is that accessibility and disability issues and concerns just aren't thought of. Where, you know, if you ask someone with a disability about one step, they would immediately understand, oh no, that's a problem. But because people are used to taking a step without even thinking about it, the fact that that's a major accessibility barrier doesn't cross their mind. And so it's not just, you know, a step into a building. It's also things like transportation, where I would love to be able to call an Uber like everyone else. But right now in Pittsburgh, there aren't any accessible Ubers. So I either have to have my own form of transportation and someone who can drive me, or I have to rely on the bus, which is a lot less of an on-demand opportunity. And there is access, which is paratransit. And I think people think that because access exists, I shouldn't need another option. But you have to schedule access rides at least a day in advance to have a really long waiting window of when you can expect the driver to show up. So it's not really comparable to Uber. And I just want to have those same opportunities that everyone else has. And right now, the accessibility considerations are often an afterthought, if they're even thought of at all.
And do you think part of that is because now that we're looking at disability justice as a form of social justice, do you think a part of that is because there's just not enough people that are disabled that sit on these boards that have positions in power, in positions of decision making, and how do we change that?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it, is that right now there are assumptions being made about the needs and the wants of the disabled community rather than asking the members of the community themselves. So I have a nonprofit organization called Accessible Universe, and we held a summit last summer talking about all of the good and bad for Pittsburgh accessibility. And at the end of the day, when we came up with the number one concern for accessibility, it was sidewalks. Now, if you ask someone not in the disability community, I don't think they would think that sidewalks are a pressing disability issue. But that is essentially, for somebody in a wheelchair, that's my street. If the sidewalks aren't in good condition, I'm stuck. So it really is the need of reaching out and ensuring voices of people with disabilities are included in every single conversation, because every issue has a disability aspect to it. So if you don't include those voices, you're going to leave out a huge proportion of the population.
And I think that makes total sense, the sidewalk issue. I wouldn't have obviously thought of that myself. So this is like you said, this is why inclusive conversations are so necessary to real change, to real progress. And if we take that scope and we expand it out as we wrap up this 5 minutes, can we talk a little bit about your feelings on the response of COVID-19 as it pertains to the disabled community and what you think needs to happen moving forward politically? What are your thoughts?
Sure. So it's been really frustrating as someone who is considered to be at higher risk for a severe case of COVID. It's been really frustrating to hear these conversations around, only people with pre-existing conditions or who are older are at risk, so we don't need to worry about that. But as someone who is at higher risk, I still think my life and the lives of everyone else has value regardless of my condition. So it's been really, really frustrating to hear that vein in the conversation over and over and over. And I think that in terms of moving forward in the future, we need a change in power, and I'm really working hard to convince anyone and everyone to vote for Biden in November. I think his team has done a great job in centering the voices of people with disabilities, not only in the response to COVID, but also in things like marriage equality, where right now, people with disabilities, if they get married, they run the risk of losing access to their benefits, not only in insurance, but in things like paying for the care attendance that I receive. So they're making the choice between getting married or maybe being able to get out of bed independently. And so it's all of these issues that have a disability side to them that we really need to elect people in power who are aware of this and who are thinking of this and really centering the voices of people with disabilities. And Biden has been the only one to do that in this election. So, if I can close in any way to say, please think about me and the other people with disabilities whose lives really will be impacted in a very real way by this election in November.
Thank you so much, Heather. I think you really hit the nail on the head talking about this idea of empathy and thinking of the other and thinking outside yourself. And instead of mocking those or talking down to people that are different from you, really widening that space and saying there's room for all of us to thrive. So I really admire the work that you do for the advocacy around disability justice. You're definitely one of my sheroes, and I'm just so honored to have this opportunity to chat with you and to spend 5 minutes. So I hope you'll come back and talk to me soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Isn't she awesome? Heather for president.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was just, as we get closer to this election, it just dawned on me the other day how many times I keep hearing immunocompromised and those people, they just need to stay inside, really talking about COVID and the other, it only impacts those people more severely. But those people are our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, the people that we live and work and hang out with. And I think we need to put a face to those ideas and recognize these are people just like you and I that deserve a chance at a good quality of life. And we need to be mindful of that as we move into this next phase, hopefully, of change.
I mean, we're 2 weeks from an election where there's a clear contrast in that on a daily basis. Now, obviously, no politician can fix every problem, but it would be nice to have a little bit of empathy and being part of your agenda. But just letting that know. But I mean, when she said that's it. I mean, this has been a more kind of evening theme here on the show from start to finish. Just people don't realize when it's not in their face, when they don't know about it, and what Heather's doing, and just to promote just her advocacy, just to get the word out there about what's going on there. I mean, she's captivating too. I mean, she's brilliant, and on top of everything else, and she's a badass. You said so in the thing, and I was like, actually, she is a badass. That is absolutely the perfect way to put that. So yeah, amazing. I mean, does she have any ways to get into contact or to help? Did she give you any? Yeah, there is some information. I can post it on my Instagram as well, and I think I gave it to you guys too. We'll put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, because she runs the Accessible Universe, which is her nonprofit, which I love the name of that. So that's all about making a more an environment where all people can thrive, regardless of if they have a disability or not. And that's really cool. And then her personal Instagram account. She's so multifaceted. She loves to write and blog about fashion, and she does this great report called the Heather Report. And I love that she runs the gamut of lifestyle topics, and then she's trying to conquer the world and become a more just place and looking good while doing it. So you got to appreciate that.
you can have it all.
You can. But she's amazing.
So before we let you go, I want to let you know something that you might not know. Today happens to be Pete Spenda's birthday.
Pete, I think I did send him a little dancing cat, or a cat with a piece of cake or something earlier.
It's Pete's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, we should have brought this up. Pete, how you doing? How's your birthday going, buddy?
You talking to me?
That sums it up.
It's going. I'm trying to, fix a couple little things behind the scenes here, but overall, it's been all right.
All right. Well,
Happy birthday, Pete.
We'll get back to talking about your birthday. You fix those things, and I'm going to ask Natalie about her advice column.
Yeah.
Ask Natalie, nationally syndicated advice columnist, in addition to being our 5 minutes with guru.
So I pulled up because let me tell you what happens. You get so many columns going, you start to forget questions.
I'll bet.
So I just pulled it up just to be sure. But I did have I don't know. Do we want to go light, or do we want to go more intense? I mean, I always feel like I'm not bringing out the sun here when I'm on.
Okay. I would like it to be light, but your intensity sometimes ends up being quite funny. So I don't know what you mean. You're dangling two different carrots. I don't know. All right, let's go light.
Okay, we'll go light. So
unless it's dirty.
No, I don't.
All right, go light.
All right. So your best friend's very recent ex-boyfriend just asks you out. What do you do?
Your best friend's recent ex-boyfriend asks you out. What were you asking me? What I do, or are you just like that was the question they asked you?
Yeah, that was the question. But I mean, you can answer it too.
I don't want to answer it. I don't know.
So here's my thinking on that. Like they just broke up. They'd been together a year, and then he says, "I'd like to take you out for a socially distant coffee."
Is this a good friend?
This is her best friend.
Oh.
This is her best friend. I said you're breaking, there's got to be some girl code somewhere that you're breaking. I mean, they haven't even been
like separated for like a hot minute.
Okay, there's different things that could drop into this though. Okay,
I don't know.
I agree.
Okay.
Your initial reaction is correct. However,
Yeah.
did she break up with him? Right.
Okay.
Okay, these are variables.
Go
Did
on.
she break up with him? Was she break up with him because? No, this does.
No, it
because,
doesn't.
Wait, I gotta get to point C here. There's an A, B, and a C. There's a pathway. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying it could be. Okay, let's say she broke up with him.
Okay.
Right. Because she's seeing somebody else herself.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on with that. Not really crazy about the dude. Right. And the girlfriend says, "Hey, this guy just asked me out. Do you believe that?" And if she's like, "Go ahead and date him," that would be an option. I would not do it, but it would be legally allowed, I think.
I think the comments have spoken.
They're all right. Danielle's absolutely right. All right. Okay, I was trying to do a little devil's advocate thing here, folks. I was trying to have a little banter, a little thing, but okay, fine. Yeah, screw it. It's off limits. Okay, it's off the. You can't do it.
Bad idea.
It's on multiple levels.
On
After
multiple
1 year,
levels.
one date is bad.
Right,
1 year
Yeah,
is
they were like together.
times. There were.
I don't know. And like, do you want your best friends like sloppy seconds too?
To put it bluntly, no, I don't think anybody does. And so this guy would. But that wouldn't be too slow. But okay, all right, good, noted. All right, that's it. So it's a done deal.
Done deal.
Okay,
So you
I agree.
should have your own advice column.
So okay,
that
so
was amazing.
no, I don't want an advice column. I give bad advice. What I was trying to do was have you kind of school me and tell me how I was wrong, but I didn't get to get it out because I got bombarded by the goddamn chat stream. I'm just trying to do a little. There's point counterpoint, folks. No one wants just point. Everyone just has the same point over and over again. Then you're preaching to the choir.
Well,
trying to bust the norms here.
No, okay. So I just feel like, can we talk about him for a second? Like, what was he thinking asking her out?
What was he thinking for 365 days? Is what should be on everybody's mind there. I don't mean to blow up somebody's game, but that's just like who's
I'm just saying, like, so this guy comes to me and says, "Oh, let's go out on a coffee." I would immediately think, is he just trying to make his ex jealous? Is he trying?
Now, was it a date, or was he just asking? Maybe he was trying to get back with his ex.
I don't know, but the way she made it sound, that's right. It's ask Nat, not ask Pat. You're right about that. Thank you.
You know what? That's Pete, for Christ's sake,
I
saying
know who that is.
But how about this? What you just said had a couple extras. It's ask Nat, not Pat. What you think about that? See, this thing could keep going.
Oh man.
Well, I tried to spice this up, and I crashed and burned. And I'm like I'm Hulk Hogan's ghetto blaster in this thing. I just got punched. But anyway, awesome. Yeah. Okay. That's
fun. It's fun giving strangers advice on the internet. It's good. it's people, and then people respond to your advice, and sometimes they don't agree with it, and they get pretty crazy. Wait, and that's also interesting.
So was there anyone not agreeing with this answer? This one's a universal 100%.
This one, but I'm always surprised at the ones where there seems to be controversy, where I just don't think there's going to be. And that's always fun for me, because I'm like, oh, okay. Like I live in this mind space of, I think about what the other person might be feeling, and I try to be empathic. And that is not how other people act online at all.
That's a whole other show. We could devote a whole night to that. With the level of vitriol that people spew on the comment section. Remember last Friday, Tony Norman was just like,
I know.
I mean, right? How can you even? He's like, they won't cap anyway. The comment section, but
you
people
have a thick skin, is what I'm saying.
You have a thick skin, but it's also. I mean, I've been guilty of reading the comments on different reviews or articles or stuff like that, and like my blood boils right away, and then I'm like, wait a minute. This is bullshit. This isn't even really real. This is something else. And like, then when you crack that bot code and you get like, people with like crazy IP addresses. Anyway,
We just went down yet another road.
Yeah. But anyway, Natalie, thank you so much. If you want to hang, we're going to kick it here with Pete for his birthday for a little bit and see if we can get some surprises. So, hey, Pete, come on here. Let's all just chat here.
Where'd you go, Pete?
Oh, he's drinking some vino.
Oh, good for him. It is his birthday after all.
It's his birthday after all. Dave.
Is that my highlight reel?
That's it. That's what I got. I could barely run the show. I was getting that highlight reel together. My computer was like a slideshow.
It was on fire. Dave's like basically has two fire extinguishers and a goddamn bucket of water and 2 box fans blowing on his computer to keep it from like literally burning down the neighborhood.
Whatever you gotta
do. Pete, what did you do for your birthday today, buddy?
I worked. Updated the website for the show.
Okay, what did you work? What did you work? What was your work today?
I'm working on a grant for 25 Carrick Avenue project. So I'm working on one of those Arts Reimagined grants.
No decks?
No decks. No, nothing fun. I updated the website. Did some SEO work on the 25 Carrick Avenue website. So if you go to 25carricave.com/education, you'll see some of my work.
Are you going on another trip in your van soon?
Well, I'm hoping to. We're talking about maybe trying to go away this weekend, trying to find somewhere to camp.
That would be nice. It's supposed to be nice this weekend anyway.
Yeah.
I think. I just made that up. I have no idea what the weather's going to be.
No, it's going to be shitty all weekend.
It was supposed to be like 80 tomorrow, though, right?
Yeah.
I know. My plan is to play hooky tomorrow. Today I got a bunch of work done. Tomorrow I have a couple meetings in the morning, and then I'm going to play hooky in the afternoon, and I'm going to go out on the dinghy for one last time.
So you'll have your birthday tomorrow. Is your cash shitted in?
Yeah.
You're going out on the dinghy. One more ride.
I guess one final ride this year.
I mean, the river's not cold right now, right? It was only cold for a couple of weeks, right? So it's not worse than normal. Could it be?
You're not really in the water anyway. You're in the dinghy, so you're just floating. So,
but you
I
like
just
to put
like
your,
hearing
put
you
your,
say dinghy.
But your butt is soaking wet. Soaking wet bum.
Not if you do it right. If you can get in, you can get in.
I'm doing something wrong.
Well, we kind of figured that, Dave, but what are we talking about, actually?
I don't know, man, but it was just like, hey, your butt gets so wet. Not if you do it right. My butt gets so wet.
Well, it's like you have to sacrifice. It's either your feet get wet because you like have to get in the water to like get into the dinghy, or you try to like get into the dinghy, but whenever you like without getting your feet wet, but then you end up just bringing water into the dinghy, and it's just a nightmare. So I have a TED Talk coming out about it.
I won't be watching that one, but good. So are you somebody that likes their birthday? Because I celebrate mine all of April. It's just birthday month. It might be because I'm an Aries. That probably has something.
What do you do?
Just excuse after excuse to just go out and tell bartenders that it's your birthday, and then you just get free drinks all month.
I don't go to that route.
I don't think Pete or I or Dave could probably get up. There was one difference. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's a difference that you could pull that off that we can't.
That usually gets me kicked out of bars.
Just Pete, like, it's my birthday. I want another icy light mango on the house.
But you're not a birthday person.
Not really, no. I mean, I do try to allow myself those same kind of
Yeah.
like that mental like break of like, okay, it's my birthday, so I should probably just allow myself to relax or eat stuff that I don't normally eat, or
Danielle says you did a TED Talk all day about your tent that you didn't actually work, that you're lying to us.
No, so I took a break this morning and I shot a 3-minute video of me setting up my tent because Andre Costello does not understand how the rooftop tent works. So I thought I would do a video to demonstrate how you put it up, because when we went camping on Sunday, we woke up Monday morning, it was pouring down rain. And so so I packed up the tent in the pouring down rain, and then as we went to get in the car, I realized I left my keys in the side of the tent, and I packed it up. So I had to pull it all back open. So then I had an 11 o'clock conference call on Monday morning, and so I unpacked the tent to get my keys. I get my keys, pack it back up in the pouring down rain, and then I realized I couldn't find my phone.
No, this isn't real.
This is totally real. And so I left my phone, and so I had to unpack it for a second time.
How old are you?
Old enough to know better, that's for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so.
I'm gonna be honest, I did watch the video. I watched all 3 minutes of it, and it was fascinating.
Cool.
I was thinking that I would screw it up, just being honest. But yeah, it was a good instructional video. You should have tagged the tent company.
I did actually.
They asked you to untag them?
No. I didn't tell them that story. No, but the rooftop tent's been sweet though, and they make really great sleeping bags too. We got these two. I ended up buying a second one because they're giant sleeping bags, and I'm a large man, so I need a little more space. And so
do you actually like camping? Like being in, sleeping on the ground camping?
I do like camping.
Okay.
I'm not real comfortable sleeping on the ground because it seems like whenever we go camping,
Bears.
I always find the spot that has like a giant rock that ends up in the middle of your back in the night.
Okay.
Not bears.
No, I
mean, do you mean like under the stars camping, like no tent?
I've never
camping.
I just mean like camping, like you bring a tent, but you're on the ground, like it's on the ground.
Natalie, you're more of a glamping person, aren't you?
Yeah, I appreciate the outdoors. I just don't think the outdoors appreciates me. If that makes sense.
Especially
Natalie, it's outdoors. We appreciate you. Come and appreciate us, okay?
If I could get a little bit of that when I'm in the outdoors, I would feel better. I really would. Maybe Dave can just be in an earpiece.
Danielle, check your messages on Messenger. Go on, Pete.
See, Danielle understands.
I mean, I was never prepared. Actually, Danielle and I went camping earlier, or like in early August, and we talked about this. Like, I've never been prepared for camping in my life. Like, I've gone before, and I always were miserable. Like, I wear like black jeans and like Chuck Taylors, and like just like be miserable the whole time because I'm not prepared for it. So this year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like.
So that's the key.
No shit else to do. I'm gonna like.
No, if there was ever a year to go camping, this is the year. I mean, for real. I want to do one of those getaway houses.
Those are cool.
Those houses that are like the truck with the big windows in the middle of nowhere.
And everybody looks so serene. They're sitting there with their coffee, like their cute dog, you know?
They have bathrooms in those things?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. And it's like, and they have a teeny tiny little stove or something. Like you can heat things up on a stovetop. So it's glamping. Yeah. You know.
I would consider what I do sort of glamping. I mean, I built the platform and we, like in the bed, I built the loft and we did that for 9-10 days and that was fun. And then I got the rooftop tent as kind of like an
Did you say 10 days?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really impressive.
It was sweet.
I'm thinking like one night.
No, I mean, there's campsites you go to now, like a lot of the state and yeah, that's what it looks like.
Look, it's a sweet looking spot there, Pete. Real nice.
It's not scary.
Real purty.
Yeah. Looks like the beginning of like a horror movie. I don't know. Speaking of horror movies, I just for the first time ever watched Poltergeist this week. I've never seen it.
Really?
No.
Okay, here's my question for you then.
Yeah,
Even though you hadn't seen it before, did it hold up?
it did. In fact,
What about that
for
scene
me-
when she's in the sink and the face?
well, that was silliness, but like the actual plot
scared me when I was a
line-
kid.
Well, yeah, it's so scary when you're a little kid, I would think. But
Yeah.
but I thought the plot still was really interesting, and there were just some really funny parts, and I thought it was really good. I was sort of surprised. I was like,
Carol
wow.
Ann.
Spoiler alert, it's a cookbook.
Anyway, I know you guys are all the movie buffs, and I'm
Are you
just
thinking
like,
about Poultrygeist?
but I swear I've never seen it. It was good.
What's that? Craig T. Nelson, right?
True.
And,
Sure.
the little girl, the little blonde
Coach.
girl.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there little like urban legends about what happened to that little girl?
Yes, I read about it. She actually died from like some weird disease like a couple of years later.
Oh God, they were true. I guess they weren't.
Yeah,
like
and then the little psychic woman, she died oddly too. There was actually
She's
like, a
from
lot
Pittsburgh.
of weird.
She's from Pittsburgh.
I know, but yeah, it was.
She's
was
not in the
good.
Jagoff pool.
You should include her. There you go.
We're all booked up on the Jagoff poll. Speaking of which, we should probably say who the Jagoff poll is overnight. Let's do that now. I think we ended the show a little bit ago. We just turned into a birthday chat. But if you're still with us, you get to know what the overnight poll is. And it's once again, Pete, even though it's his birthday and he was working all day, he turned in some of his finest work again with a gun to his head. Dave, roll tape on what the overnight poll is.
We didn't even
Happy
close the
birthday to Peter! It's his GD birthday and he's turning out the best work he's ever done. Overnight, your poll. Here we go. It is the Jag-Off. Pete Spinda's birthday edition. Kenny Woods Open versus the Pittsburgh Left. Do you even left, bro? Do you even left, bro? Pete Spinda's going camping, everybody. It's his GD birthday. He's brilliant. Check him out. It's his gosh darn birthday! If you're not celebrating Pete Spinda right now, you're not anywhere. You're going to hell. Birthday hell!
There's a reason.
Oh my God.
There's a reason Dave doesn't come on screen. It's just.
It would be almost too much. That's exactly how I picture it too, Dave. That's exactly how I picture it.
Oh, sure. I'm seeing how long he
so
can hold that. He's so lifelike. Oh man,
We never even
guys.
closed the other Jagoff out, did we?
Well, who won? Dave. Dave, tell him what happened. Let's fire up the music. Let's send him over with something else. Oh God.
Costume World.
Okay. Costume World.
That was
Costume
pretty
World.
low
Okay.
key compared to how you amped
he-
us up for the other one.
No.
I'm kind of disappointed
spent
now,
it.
but
He spent it. Anyway, tonight's
No.
show was great. We should have kept Liz and Adam around to just play us out at the end of the night. Of course, they probably got other shit to do for the other second hour of their night.
You mean like trying to keep their industry alive?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually,
That's what I was getting at. They got shit to do. Like I didn't mean like they got to go sit outside in the backyard or go to a bar and tell them it's their birthday month. I mean,
Birthday month, see, it's catching on.
birthday hashtag Natalie's birthday
Tag
month.
Birthday month.
You know what? You should just have your birthday month every month. Have you ever pulled the "It's my birthday"
Yes.
at a place like? Did you ever do it in July?
Oh, of course, especially when you're traveling.
Any month. No one's ever asked for your ID.
Well, I mean,
It's
You
usually the
can say it's
doorman. The
your
doorman's not like,
birthday.
wait, I remember your birthday.
But your birthday was. I remember it was Christmas. It was
Birthday.
Christmas Eve. You came in here. It was your birthday.
yeah,
But anyway,
guys, you need to come out with me more someday again when we're
when
all
we
able
can
to
when we can go out, when we can go
and
out.
we can experience the birthday month together.
All right. So ballpark, everybody. What
We
do you-
all
what-
go to Chi-Chi's.
Well, do you know what they sing at Chi
I'm more of
Chi's?
a Don Pablo's guy. Come on.
We gotta sing this one together because Pete
Wait,
put
Natalie.
Joe Kushecki through birthday hell, so we
Yeah, I
gotta
know.
do it. You
Yeah,
ready?
that's totally true. Wait. Are we
He
singing Happy
just messaged
Birthday?
me. He's looking for backup singers.
Are we? Are we gonna do the Chi-Chi's one? Or are we gonna do the regular one?
I think let's do the last line. I've been thinking about this a lot because like I think it's impossible.
God.
I've been theorizing that if we just do the last line, we can pull it off. We can make it sound good. You ready?
Wait. Happy birthday to you or to you, Olay?
Not the not the culturally inappropriate one. Let's not do it.
Let's
not go there anymore.
You wanted it. You brought it up.
There's a lot of death and destruction in the path of Chi-Chi's we don't want to dredge up. It is
green
Halloween.
It's so dark.
All right, so
happy
last
birthday.
line. Here we go. You ready? Let's do it for Pete. Pete.
Not the whole thing.
We we can't sing just happy birthday. Like, it's
Well,
just
no,
you get one line.
You're right. I'm
No,
overcomplicating this, aren't I?
There's a slight delay. Okay, let's just sing it from the top and see what happens.
Yeah, let's do it from the top. Here we go. Everybody. Happy birthday to you. Let's go, people. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear people.
He likes to chance in the dinghies. I can't do it.
I want to, but not like this. This feels wrong.
We get the last one. Here we go.
I want no part of that, Pete. Zero.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
The closest I ever came to
Slow
being
clap.
lip syncing was just mouthing the words while Dave was singing because, yeah, I think if we just sang it like a straight happy birthday thing, it might, instead of like, going
Could have
for
worked.
the big things, I
Right.
think it could have worked. Natalie,
Those dogs, your dogs are the happy. You can tell that you're the best guy in the world because your dogs, they are the happiest dogs you have ever seen, and they're the best judges of character. So, you must be all right, Pete Spender.
He can't tell you that on his own, but he sees that the dogs like you. And that's good enough for him.
Sometimes I spoil them. So
Well, I'm not gonna sniff his crotch, even if it is his birthday.
we've devolved.
yes, we have.
No,
This
you.
was supposed.
I'm not being dragged into that.
You're down.
You
Natalie.
chose this company, Natalie.
You chose to be
Dog
there.
owners know what I'm
Trying to be
talking
nice
about.
because
Dog
it's
people.
Pete's birthday. This is what happens. No good deed.
Oh,
Goes
you're being
unpunished.
punished. You're being punished. I guess Pete's birthday is punishing for Natalie. She whiz. And Pete's just like, I didn't want any of this shit. Pete's like, literally, I was ready to go at 9:02. You got anything planned for the rest of the night, Pete? Or are you just going to crash and then just get ready for your dinghy tomorrow?
I don't know. Probably just eat some food. Maybe watch some TV. I don't know.
You did pull out some pretty nice graphics on the last little GIF for the overnight.
You like that tubing?
That you pulled tubing out.
Yeah. You didn't notice that?
Oh no, I did. I got really excited. I was just like, I can't believe it.
I didn't
Like,
pull my tubing out. I pulled.
Why does everything have to have that double meaning with this guy? Tubing, dinghies.
Kenny was
Did you ever-
open, man.
Did you ever go?
I had to
Oh
go
my!
there.
Wow.
go
You know what? It was so timely, so
Too
choice.
soon? I don't know. Like,
You know, you even left, bro. Very, 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 very brilliant. This guy, my God, what was he thinking?
I don't think he was thinking. Or as my grandma would say, he was thinking with the wrong head.
Well, that's something to be said there. But I mean, the man, he probably does a couple hundred of those Zoom calls a day, but still,
Stamina.
I got nothing to say about that. Tubing. So anyway, look at that. So, hey, Dave Mansueto, did you ever dress up as any of the guys from Kiss for Halloween?
Nope.
Pete, have you?
I don't like Kiss.
Natalie?
No, I don't like Kiss either.
I just saw them in the graphic, and I thought, oh, maybe one of the people on the panel might have been into Kiss. I saw Kiss play live once.
I just
I'm
Googled
sorry.
Costume World and that
You shouldn't
came
be.
up.
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Okay, so this was probably 20 years ago, and Kiss was playing their first reunion tour of the last 30, right? And it was at Star Lake Amphitheater, and I was like, fuck these guys, these old whatever, blah 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 blah. Who gives a shit about this, blah blah. And they're like, just go watch it, just go watch it. So I had like an all access kind of pass. So I walked down into the crowd, about 20 some rows, 30 rows from the stage, right? So I'm just standing there like this. Like Ted Nugent opened for them and played like a song called "Fuck Janet Reno," and there was all these Kiss heads with their little kids dressed with Kiss makeup, like covering their ears and stuff. And he was like shooting flaming arrows at like stuffed teddy bears and stuff. So then Kiss comes out, and the big death curtains up across the stage. It says Kiss on it, and you hear like, "Pittsburgh, you're one of the fucking best. You got the fucking best. It's Kiss." And the curtain drops really fast, and the whole stage blows up, and there's just literally fireworks and pyrotechnics everywhere. They come down from the sky, and they're playing their instruments with their like 3-foot heels. And when they land, every time they take a step, fireworks are going off. And I'm just like, what the hell? And they did one little piece of Kiss choreography where they like rock, 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 open. You know what I mean? They just literally rock, 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 and then open the guitar. That was it. And the drummer kind of does his hair with it. And I don't know what happened, but I started like, I was like, yeah! Like there was like 20,000 people. Everyone started cheering. And I did that, and I lasted one song, and I went home. But I did get caught up in the Kiss thing for a minute. So
It entranced you.
they have a couple of songs. I wouldn't say they're good songs, but they're like, you know,
But they're
some standard.
songs.
No, but they're like rocking songs. There's a couple of good. I don't know. What do who likes Kiss?
I like Kiss. I
You
think
just
they're
took
great.
yourself
Yeah.
full circle.
No, but I'm just saying, like, who likes Kiss? Like
I
was-
do. I
Dave
do. I
does.
like.
See,
I
was
do.
doing them.
I like. They got great
That's
songs.
all we need to
man.
know, really.
Dave likes lots of things that are
I
great.
do.
What's your favorite band, Natalie? What was the first concert you went to, Natalie?
Oh, that's a good question.
BRB.
I'm trying to think. Probably Britney Spears when I was like 13.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what
Where
it
was
was? Because my girlfriend's dad, it was like such a big deal because my girlfriend's dad worked for a company and they got box seats for her concert.
Where was it?
Down at, well, it's not even there anymore. It was Civic, what is that called? The one that
Arena?
got, yeah, the one that was like imploded or whatever. Yeah, and it was, I remember we got like dressed and we got to be in this box and I felt like,
Oh, like the box with like
Yeah.
the refrigerator and
Mhm.
the ooh.
yeah, and I remember, I don't even think we watched the concert because it was just like, you were in
watched
this
it on the TV.
Yeah, and I actually didn't think it was, I was like, oh wow, I thought, you know, because I think I would have rather been much closer for more of the experience, but it was so cool also being sort of up in this box. 'Cause,
Pete.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely probably my first experience that I
Pete.
remember.
Nice.
Peter,
Yes.
what was your first concert?
It was Lollapalooza at Star Lake
Which
in
one?
'92.
Who headlined?
I think. Alice in Chains and Primus, and I think Tool was on that one. Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, that's the big one. That's that. I think that's like
George
Lollapalooza.
Clinton, I think, played that.
That's either Lollapalooza. I think that's Lollapalooza 2, right?
Yeah, it was
that's
the second one. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the side stage was amazing as well.
That's awesome.
How
My
old
fir-
were you?
I think it was 14, maybe 15.
You had to
Yeah.
be junior high or early high school. Yeah.
I remember
It's
going
like-
with like my friend's older sisters, or sister and her friend or something, and just being like, "What the hell's happening?" Like
Mm-hmm.
people started ripping that place apart. It was super fun.
My
I
first
got punched
concert.
in the face by a bouncer. That
No way.
yeah,
You were
because Tool
14?
came on. Yeah, Tool came on, and they were like, "Oh, we talked to the security, and they said everyone in the back could just come up front." So everyone just like stampeded to the
No.
front, and then like everyone just started climbing the walls in, and then like the bouncers just got up there and just started like punching people, and I was like, I don't know, like 12, 13, just 14 maybe, like just punched in the face, like knocked on the ground.
Like I was just listening to Tool. Oh man,
It was
my
wild.
my first concert was Montel Jordan, TLC, and
Oh.
Boyz II Men.
Oh, that's awesome.
Smooth.
That was
Oh
my first
yeah,
concert. It was really
that's
smooth.
those are classics right there.
That's right. Montel Jordan
Oh.
had, something for the honeys, and this is how we do it. And then TLC, they were fantastic. They just didn't, Left Eye just came around on rollerblades for half the show, just
That's
out of
so
control.
cool.
And then, Boys to Men were the headliners at the time. They were charting still. So that
Pete
was
gets
it.
to Pete. Sorry to interrupt. Pete gets. I'm gonna make a rule though. Regardless of how long this show goes on, Pete gets to leave whenever.
Yeah,
he
we're only
wants
doing this to talk to
It's
Pete.
his birthday.
Pete, what do you want? You want to wrap it up, Pete?
He's
out.
He's done.
We were only just doing this for him.
That's a true. We're giving him a good birthday
Aw,
present.
All right,
Let him
good. All right,
get
let
that.
him go.
GTFO.
Dave, let's wrap this up then. Dave, what was your first concert before we say goodnight?
Simon and Garfunkel.
Of course it was. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That was when they were touring their first album, right?
You got it, Mrs. Robinson.
They were
It was the
doing- it
Mrs.
was-
Robinson tour.
1962. You were there.
I was there.
Well, awesome. Well, everybody that stayed with us to shower Pete with birthday love, thank you all. Natalie, thank you for another great 5 minutes with.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
thank you.
if you're still with us, tomorrow we're going to be back. Dave Bracey's going to pop in with us. Dave, who's on the gongs?
Tamburo, man. Mike Tamburo's got gongs like you wouldn't believe. These beautiful gongs. He's serious about gongs, and it is. They are breathtaking when you hear them. They are absolutely, the body shaking. It's magic. Healing power of gongs, that's his scene. It's real. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've felt it. Mike Tamburo on gongs. Bring yourself some nice lavender lotion or something. Get out your Naga Champa. Dim the lights.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun show.
Is there
We're all
any
going to
way,
sleep.
is there any way that he could actually do like if I say something stupid, he could gong me and I have to leave? Like, could it be like a gong show kind of a thing? Anyway, fantastic. So we've got Pete played in bands with him, by the way, with Mike. By the way, he's not just about the therapeutic stuff. Dave's out too.
And he's back.
And he's back.
Fucking mask.
But Kate Romaine is going to be here for What Kate Ate, and we are also going to have the fantastic Casey Renee is going to be here talking about her new shop that she's opening and the cakes, the pastries, all that she does. So it's going to be a great show tomorrow, and then of course Friday with the Night of the Living Dead reunion show. So get on it. Thank you all for being here. Good night, Pete. Happy birthday,
Happy
buddy.
birthday.
You deserve a rest. And bye, everybody. Have a good one. Keep social distancing. Keep wearing your masks.